Hey everyone, it's Carrie Bradford, and today I thought I'd take you on a little walkthrough of the setup of my planner traveler's notebook. I wanted to start out by saying that I've never been much of a planner girl. I'm usually good about keeping everything organized in my head, but a few months ago I had a little roundabout with anemia and it has affected my memory. Not only words are hard to come by, but I just can't keep things straight in my head anymore. I hear this will pass, but in the interim, I need something that will help me stay on task. So, what's that saying? Necessity is the mother of invention. Well, I invented, or rather just created, because it isn't anything earth shattering, but I created something that's going to work for me. There's tons of planners that are out there, but if you're like me, too much planning becomes overwhelming. And so then it just doesn't get done. It doesn't work for me. So I need something that's so basic that it does exactly what I need and no more. I needed it to be clean and simple and laid out where I can just see it all. What it boils down to is I need a calendar and a place for lists of ideas and things to do, or prioritize and make those weekly goals, but with a little twist of fun, of course. And so I thought this basic system might work for many of you as well. When I first realized that I needed to write things down and decided to put together a little setup that fit my needs, I got this cute little Chic Sparrow album from Philo Eye Candy on Instagram, and I love this yellow. It's so pretty, and I thought this would just be so perfect for having just with me all the time. But it is a field note size, and I just got to thinking that is just not going to cut it for me. I do need something that's just a little bit better. So I turned to my trusty TN size, and this has been my go-to album for years now. So I'm figuring, why mess with a good thing, right? So the purpose of this setup is to keep track of the essentials, whether it's business or family life or whatever your needs are. So let's take a little peek inside. And this is using a new kit that is called Fundamentals that you can get on my site. And this is, like I say, it's very basic. And what it boils down to is the core of the album is the calendar itself. And so this right here is where I keep track of everything that I need to do for work, or even if it's like something simple like that, I needed to teach at church that day. So I will keep track of some other things that maybe I need reminding of, or maybe we're taking a vacation. When I was putting this together and I came across December, I'm like, I want to put in vacation. And it's like, I am not working this week. And I just was kind of excited to fill that out and go, hey, I'm blocking that out already. So anyway, the core of this is just plain and simple, just a calendar. And when I was looking at what I needed in a calendar, I wanted a place that I could write notes, but I also wanted a place that I could write notes down here. And if you look, there's 2 extra squares here, and that is because once or twice, or maybe even 3 times a year, you have the week that falls down here. And so I needed to make sure I had a spot for them, and so that's why those 2 squares are there. It never goes over that second square. And so, as with much of what I do, I like having options. And I know for me, when it comes to my week on a calendar, I like for it to start on Sunday. If I was doing this in a weekly, Monday, Tuesday, through Sunday, I like putting my work week all together and then the weekend at the end. But when I look at a calendar, it just totally confuses my mind to have a Monday start date. That being said, I know I'm not always, that's not always the case, that people do like a Monday start date. So this kit also includes a Monday start date for those of you who like that. It also has, again, in the essence of variety and options for people. This has shading here and here. It's very light, but yet you can kind of tell that it's shaded so that you can see, that's my weekend. And so you have the option to have a calendar like this. You can get it without the shading. You can get it with a Monday start date as well as Saturday, Sunday shading as well there. And so I like to encompass as many people's ideas and thought processes as possible. So I like a little bit of shading just because it kind of makes me focus on that week itself. So this is the core. And when it comes to printing this out, all you do, I printed, oh goodness, let's see, it was 610, because I go through December 2018. And so you'll print it out like this, and then you cut off, this is just a blank piece or a trial piece of paper, but you'll only have to cut off 1/4 off the top, then you fold it in half and cut it down to 4 1/4 that way. So it's super simple. There aren't any crop marks, just because I found that they weren't very useful. Knowing that you just cut off 1/4 inch here, fold it, cut it down to 4 1/4 there, and you're done. So that's how those go. I also like using the Hammermill paper. It's this inkjet and laser printer. I have a laser printer that I do all my black and white stuff on. So that's what I like using for paper. And then when it comes to the cardstock part, I like using this Hammermill Color Copy Digital Cover. It's an 80-pound weight, and it feels soft and dreamy, and I love this. So those are the two papers that I use when I print. I also use I have an HP LaserJet 1102W printer to do my black and whites, and then I have a very old Epson 1400 photo stylus printer that I use to print color. So when it comes to the calendar, I wanted something that was just no-brainer. I mean, you can either write in the month of August, or these Time Again stamps would work perfectly for it. And so yeah, you can just go through and stamp those in. I didn't want to have to worry about updating the calendar constantly. I wanted to be able to add it to it when I wanted to. So as 2018 started coming to a close, and I could just quickly print out some more pages and just add them here to the back of my book. And how I do that is I will take one of these rubber bands, I will fold my papers in half, and then I will add a rubber band around. These are the Midori rubber bands. And so you can use the Midori ones, or you can buy big ones from Staples or whatever. And then you just take it and you add it to your album, and you've extended your album without having to mess anything else up. So, and that's also how I create my albums, is I do not staple them. They are not stapled inside. So if you were to look at this, you can see that there's the center elastic here, but this is not stapled. So the rubber band keeps that all in place, and it just allows you more freedom to put things in and out as you want to. Maybe you wanted to slide just a random piece of paper in there for something, then you could, put something, maybe not on this calendar, but you could put something in there in between. So with the core of the calendar, I have it in the middle, and that's where I want it, because it actually, I think, works better as far as the crease that happens within here. It helps it lay flatter. So at the beginning of it, I have lined paper that I printed. And I know you can buy stuff that's lined already, but this allows kind of just a similar feel between the two albums that I have. Also, once again, there's options. This one has little check boxes. So if you like to have that little, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, and you can check them off as you go, there's that. I don't necessarily need that gratification, but I know that some people do. And so again, there's options. So there's that. And there's also kind of a wide ruled, which I think it was probably about 0.3, I don't know if it was 0.35, 0.33 inches between those. And then there is kind of more of a college ruled, it's like 0.25 inches between lines. I like writing bigger, and so that's why I like the bigger lines. But again, there's options. You can have this size with the checks, or the smaller size with the checks. So this is where I'm going to keep track of all of the ideas and the things that I need to have going on for work. And so in the kit too are these labels, and you can take these and use them, along the side, or they'd also be really cute if you use them at the top, and then you can just fold them over, and then that signifies each part of, what it is that you're going to document. or keep track of the list that you need to make. And if you're doing this for home, maybe you have, food or maybe you're not lesson planning, but meal planning, or, lists of things, the honey-do list or whatever, you can section this out. I printed 15 sheets of this. Again, they're centered exactly in the middle so that when you print them, you cut off the quarter off the top, fold it, trim it down to 4 1/4, and you're done. The other thing that's really kind of cool that works with these is the little stamps. I have these are the Annie stamps, and those work perfectly within those labels as well. And then the last simplification to this planner that I have is this to-do list. And it says things to do on one side, and then on the other side it says, and the list goes on. Because if you end up having a long list, then, you can distinguish between the two sides. And it's just fun. Anyway, but this one is kind of like that warm gray, a light beige color. But it also comes in, I think it's the yellow, the gray, the pink, and the mint. And so I just cut a few, or, just one sheet of them, so that I can have these in my planner so that when I need to switch over, then I can do that. And then I'm just going to keep them right here in the front of my album, at least for now. And then when I am in the month that I'm in, I just take this and set it inside. And then that way, when the next month comes, I call it a traveling to-do list. And so I just take it and I can just put it in here for the next month. And maybe you want to do one for each month. I liked the idea of being able to move it in and out. And it's right there. And also this particular paper clip I got from Walmart. It's just a very flat one. And one of the labels in there says live simply. That was kind of my motto for this whole planner system, is just to live simply, to work simply, to just be simple and not get carried away with all of the fluff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I think that that's a great way to do it and to present the way you're planning things. And it's a great creative outlet. But for me, I need it right down to the basics. I need to just be able to write exactly what I need to in pencil. I don't know if you guys are pencil planners or pen planners, but I have to do things in pencil. I need that erasability. I can't make it permanent. It's got to be erasable. So there's that. And I don't necessarily have a pen loop. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, so I just kind of put a binder clip on out and it sticks out from there, and then I can just slide it on. So there's that. And then the last part of the kit are some pretty papers. And so that's this buffalo check, and they do come in some different colors, so you can kind of mix in things that, how you want it. And this is like my favorite. I love this mustard floral print. And then I have a pink polka dot. And that's kind of like my favorite color scheme going on right now, is this mustard, the gray, the pink, and the mint. I love that color scheme. So there's that. And just FYI, there's different labels. You could take these and fold them over, or you could just use simple ones. You could use these anywhere. They also come in black. So it would be really cool to print them off in black and then run them through your ink to make it gold or silver or whatever color you like. So that would be really fun as well. So this last album is the Midori album that it came with. And so I thought I could just use this as a sketchbook for now. It doesn't match the same color, but I kind of thought, you know what, I don't really care, because I know I'm not going to be in this area as much, and I didn't want it to go to waste. And it actually has more papers. Like I say, I think I printed 15 of these, so it gives me 30 sheets, and then back to back it gives me 60. Is that right? Can I do my math? I don't know. Anyway, so I just kind of went ahead and left it that, so that can be like my sketchbook. And this may be evolving over time. This is just what I felt like I really needed right now. And as I work with it, and if I find that I need something else, then I might add something to it. But this is the essentials. This is the fundamentals. You've got a calendar, you've got a place for lists, and you've got this little to-do list, and then some labels to work with it. And then, of course, you've got the pretty papers. There's also 2 other patterns that aren't included in here. So you can check that out on my site and see what those are. So the one other thing that I just wanted to show you really quick is how you can put these together. Like I say, I use the rubber band. So I have this rubber band going around to the center of this. So those two are connected. You can see that right here, how they go around there. And then I've put the calendar right in the middle of those, around the elastic that comes with the Midori album itself. So you can see how that works. So it's really basic, and you can, like I say, always add more to it. You can just, by simply taking another rubber band, putting in your folded papers, and just adding another rubber band. Or, you know, again, if you want to add another album, you could do the same thing. I love the rubber band option. It just makes things so much more usable and flexible. So that pretty much sums it up. Here's my little to-do list. I just tucked that back in here. Go ahead and add my pencil, which I love this Energized pencil by Pentel. This is a medium pencil lead, and it has a eraser on the end. And oh, it does say 0.7 on there. If you can see that, it says 0.7. And then I just tuck that on there and wrap it back up. This sits with me by my computer. I sit in a big brown comfy chair in my front room where I sit by the window and I can see outside, and I work on my laptop, and this can just sit with me on the arm of the chair. It's contained, it's small, but big, and I know it's going to do exactly what I need to do. And so perhaps this scaled down, fundamental, basic calendar and list system will work for you too. So that's all I have to say. I'll maybe keep you posted as to how the system is working, if it's working out really well for me. I think it really will. I already feel it. It just feels good to me. And so, yeah, have fun with your planning, however you may do it, and we'll see you around.